and a privilege to welcome Congressman Suozzi to the stage. But before I call upon him, I want to mention he has been a great partner and a staunch supporter of the Pakistani American community for a long time. I am even more pleased that Congressman Suozzi's independence, integrity, and a firm stand for justice and equality for all, as well as his unmatched courage to fight partiality, as we all have seen in the recent days, is now being represented in the United States Congress, and I think that's the real added value, and we all are better for it as a country. The Pakistani American community will continue to benefit from his fierce, and I cannot emphasize this enough, his fierce commitment to our community and to this country. So I am pleased to introduce a man of immense personal courage, unparalleled sincerity, and one of the biggest cheerleaders of the Pakistani American community in Washington, D.C., Congressman Tom Suozzi.
Yeah. Thank you for your letter on
Let me first start by thanking Saba Ijaz for that wonderful introduction. Thank you, Saba. Let's give Saba a good round of applause. She and the committee did a tremendous amount of work to pull. I can't believe this is such a big celebration. This is wonderful. Farah, you did a great job. Oh, where's Farah? Congratulations. And the entire committee. Let's give all the committee. This wasn't easy to put together. It was very hard. Let's thank them. What's that?
We do one a month.
One a month? Wow. Do they have this kind of crowd every month?
Yeah. Lunar New Year.
Oh my gosh. Don't you guys have time to be home? Anyway, I'm so happy to be here. Let me first say to all of the honorees, Mubarak. Congratulations to all of the honorees. I don't know if anybody's been following the recent issue I've been involved with over the past couple of days.
Yeah. Thank you for your letter.
And you have to understand that, my job as an elected official, first of all, I was listening to these singers. I thought these singers were fantastic. Didn't they do a great job? Sirjan Ahmed and his playing partner didn't get his name on the program. So let's give Sirjan and his partner a round of applause.
His brother.
But they were,
That's his brother.
That's his brother. Okay, his brother, another Ahmed. Mr. Ahmed. So, but Dr. Ijaz was telling me that in that song they were talking about freedom and justice, that last song. Freedom and justice. What beautiful words those are. And, as an elected official, as a member of Congress, my job is to represent all the people. I have to represent everybody. I represent the Pakistani Americans. I represent the Indian Americans. I represent the Italians. I represent the Irish. You should see what they did to the Italians today with Chris Cuomo. They really beat him up in the New York Post today. That's very insulting to me as an Italian American. I'm a first-generation Italian American. My father was discriminated against terribly, but I won't talk about that now. So I have to represent everybody. And one of the things that I did, I wrote a letter this past week about Kashmir to the Secretary of State, and I got some of my friends in the Indian American community mad at me that I did that, and I really made a mistake in that I didn't talk with them ahead of time. I told them that. That was what I apologized for, is that I said, I should have talked to you first. But in reality, when I have a lot of different people coming at me all the time. Some people want this, some people want that. That happens with all politicians. In every single, whether you're local, whether you're state, whether you're federal, you've got all these different things coming at you all the time. And you can't really count on, I can't count on my wife. I mean, I love my wife. She's fantastic. But I can't go to my wife for advice. I can't go to my children. In the old days when my parents were still alive, I couldn't go to my parents. You can't rely on anything. You can't rely on the Pakistanis. You can't rely on the Indians. You can't rely on the Italians. You can't rely on this one. The only thing you can rely on in life when facing difficult situations are your values.
Yep.
What is right and what is wrong? What do you believe that you should be doing? So we're always going to face difficult situations in our lives, and we have to try and navigate the very, very challenging world of politics. But instead of stressing and fretting and being upset and nervous about it, you have to try and figure out, what do you really think is the right thing to do? And I want to make a commitment to everyone here. I will always try and do what I see as being the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And when you hear songs about freedom and justice, those are values this country is based upon. You know, we have to remember something. You know, many of you, how many of you are actually native to Pakistan? How many of you were actually born in Pakistan? Okay? How many of you how many of your parents were born in Pakistan, but you were born here? Okay? How many of your grandparents were born in Pakistan, but you were born here? So, you know, in this country, you know, I say I'm an Italian American. I'm also an Irish American. And you're Pakistani American. And there are different people that are something hyphenated American. But we're all American now. We've all decided, whether we've been here for 5 years or 5 generations, that this is the country, that we are here because of an idea, a basic idea that we're constantly fighting to try and make real. The idea that all men and women are created equal. And we don't always live up to that ideal in this country. As a matter of fact, there's a big challenge in this country right now with the way some people are treated and are discriminated against. A guy just called me on the way here. I had to drive 2 hours to get here for this because I wanted to come here. On the way here, a guy called me. He's a turban-wearing Sikh. And he was at a restaurant last week, and a man came up to him from the restaurant and said, "We have a no hat policy in this restaurant. You either have to take your hat off or you have to leave." Now I think that's ignorance. You know, when I was first elected county executive of Nassau County, and I want to thank all the county officials that are here for being here today. Let's give them a big thank you for all being here. I appointed the first turban-wearing Sikh. You know, I took office on January 1st of 2002, right after September 11th. And people thought Sikhs were Muslims. Yes. And you know how difficult it was for people to wear their turbans, as it is for women now to wear their hijabs? So it's not easy, but we have to embrace the fact that we have all these differences, but we're really all in this together. We're all in this together to fight for an idea that all men and women are created equal. And I will always fight to try and do that. I would let my mother and father down if I didn't. So I want to wish everyone a happy Independence Day, Mubarak. And I want to say Pakistan Zindabad. Yeah. And I want to say thank you, Shukriya. And I want to thank everybody for their warm friendship and their warm words of encouragement. And let's always work together. And let's try and get all of our friends here in America, especially our Indian friends and our Pakistani friends, to work together to try and make this idea of America, of all men and women are created equal, and that we're all in this together. Let's try and make that something that we spread not only throughout this country, but throughout the entire world. Thank you very much, everybody. Shukriya.
Thank you for supporting freedom and justice.
Thank you so much, Congressman Suozzi.